heard this match first announced like on the last Raw, I was like thinking, that has the potential to be a great match. I do enjoy a last man standing match, but then there's so much about WWE these days that have just put me in the head, like in the mindset of, it's going to have WWE style storylines in it. It's not going to be fair. It's not going to be like. It just feels like they always gear up towards a pay-per-view match, and just being on the Raw just feels like it's going to be a little bit underwhelming. Something's going to go wrong.
Yeah, I'm with you there. Enzo and Big Cass are also up against Rusev and Jinder Mahal. So, that's from the back end of last week. So, a couple of matches there announced. Matt, going into, of course, the Royal Rumble. I know we spoke about it last time on the podcast, but of course we do have a title match now announced with John Cena. What did you think of all that, Matt? And was you surprised that we're going back to Cena and AJ again?
I was a little bit surprised, but I've said many times that SmackDown does feel a little bit light on the talent side. It's got some tremendous talent with people like John Cena, AJ and Randy and all that in there, but they've sort of tied Randy into a tag team situation now, because I thought he would be ideal for like a shot against AJ to be when all the drafts started. I thought that was the way they might go with that, but that went out the window. So, now we've got John Cena again. I'm not going to say it's a bad thing, but it is what we've already seen. And John Cena going for the 16th, like, it does really feel more of a WrestleMania kind of feel about that story rather than Royal Rumble. I mean, I know Royal Rumble is one of the top 4, but I just can't help shaking the feeling that they really want Brock and Goldberg to kind of steal the thunder on that night. So I don't think John Cena taking a 16th championship on that night is the way that they'll go.
No, yeah. I mean, I thought they were definitely going to save that up for a WrestleMania storyline and have Rick involved and, just do it a completely different way. If we're to believe that WWE have been sitting on The Undertaker and Cena for 12 months, and obviously even more than that, depending on how far back you want to look at it, again, I gave an ideal sort of booking for it, how I would have played it out. Now I'm seeing this, I'm kind of a little bit worried that they're going to miss the opportunity of John Cena chasing that 16th sort of time champion and tying it up with Rick, possibly if he beats, say, The Undertaker for the belt. I think that would have just made sort of like a huge dream match even bigger with more at stake. Whereas I feel like you can't always just have, like, I know Cena and Undertaker on paper, Matt, is gold. It is like a big match, and I'm not going to say it's going to let you down either, because it won't. But it just would have been nice to have something else with it as well, because you haven't got the Undertaker's streak anymore, so you can't play that out either. So it just would have been nice for them both to have something to lose and gain at the same time. And I feel like if that is the match they're going for, that there's going to be one of those things is going to be missing, possibly. Do you think do you think that AJ Styles will could easily retain this now because of what you just said about the whole Brock Lesnar and Goldberg part of it, or do you think that WWE might say to themselves, well, this is the 30th one, we're going to fill this huge arena, and this is the sort of thing that we need it to go down in history, this was the night John Cena tied that record up with it. Could they possibly be thinking of doing what has been a very lacklustre Royal Rumble in the past 3 years has suddenly been this huge momentous historic moment?
I'm not going to say it's out of the question, but I just have the feeling that it won't be John Cena's night. For me, it feels like this has got a little bit more of a story to tell about this. It doesn't really feel like he hasn't spoke about wanting it enough yet. I mean, I know we see a little promo he did of SmackDown and everything, but I think this needs to build a little bit more. Even if we don't see like AJ. I mean, if we don't see John Cena versus Undertaker at WrestleMania, like, I'm not a fan of seeing repeat matches. But even if we get to see a triple threat or a fatal four-way with AJ and say, I don't know, Dean Ambrose, John Cena, and I don't know, Bray Wyatt, that would be more interesting, because then it would be more for John Cena to go through a bit more of a story and to get through other guys on that journey, rather than just, because it's just getting too tired now, where we keep seeing John Cena come back and thrust into the main event picture like he just deserves it. I'm not saying he don't deserve it, but he should at least actually have to climb like the ranks, because there's people in there wrestling like every week, and he just sort of comes back after like say a month and then is thrust into the title picture immediately again.
Yeah, I was shocked about the how they were going to use Cena at the Rumble. I just thought Cena might actually be one of the contenders in the Rumble and do it that way for this. But they've gone with what they've gone with, and obviously it's a title match. Obviously they do want, they've probably realised that you can't just sell this on just the Rumble anymore, because it's been so terrible in the last 3 years. Maybe people are giving up on the damn thing, so that they've got to have something else there that's going to be meaningful. I really hope that they play out the whole importance of tying the record, similar to what they were doing at SummerSlam when we went a couple of years ago now, in New York, when of course you had the whole interference happen in that match, Matt. I hope that they kind of do have that importance, and maybe even include Ric Flair in that segment. Whoever, but try and give it something that you're seeing why he would want to do it, and why there is so much to gain for him. Because obviously we've seen these two guys before, and obviously we're going back to the same thing, which. For me, I would say at this point, I think it would be an incredible shame, Matt, if AJ Styles has to lose that title now, when he's done so well with it, and maybe another victory against John Cena would definitely put him up higher. I would say as big as it would be for John Cena to tie 16s, it would just be as big for AJ Styles to come out of this and go into WrestleMania as the champion.
I think that's actually a great little lead on there, because we see AJ beat John Cena again, and then the amount of times that Cena's lost to AJ would sort of beg the question, well, you're losing so much now, what's next for you? Yeah. And then if we were to actually see a desperate John Cena challenge the Undertaker just to regain some of his former glory, that would be a great segue into that match. Yeah. Who
knows? We may even see John Cena a little bit of a heel in all that. You never know how they'll play that out. It'll be interesting to see how that goes. I definitely a match that I'm not exactly not looking forward to, because I think it's going to be a great match, and those two guys are tremendous workers in the ring. I'm just shocked on the timing of it again. That's all. After we've kind of come out of that by now, but I'll be interested. Matt, as far as obviously we spoke about the Royal Rumble last time, so I don't want to lean on that too much. Obviously Goldberg, Lesnar, we've said all we can pretty much on that for now, until we hear what's going to happen later. Maybe Goldberg will have some more interesting facts. But other than that, Matt, we spoke about obviously some potential winners that we'd like to see. Do you think that I know we spoke Samoa Joe? It'd be a great entrance for him. Is there anyone else that could have used the Rumble though, Matt? Maybe not winning it, but use it in a way where it's going to put them over. Is this time? Could this be like Braun Strowman sort of movement going on in this, or do you think they might keep him out of it a little bit?
Yeah, they've always had that kind of thing, a need for a dominant monster. I mean, but this time we could be on overflow with this. We'd have Goldberg in there, and Brock in there, and of course we're going to have Braun Strowman in there, and it's going to be difficult for them all to get their point across.
Especially if Samoa Joe debuts as well.
Yeah, I'm assuming we're going to have the old classic Braun Strowman comes in, he's going to show down with the ever versatile Big Show or something, and throw him out with the greatest of ease, trying to say that he is the new kind of monster heel, like in the company. But you know, and as for someone coming in there and using it in a positive, it is kind of difficult to do that when there can only be one winner and there will be 29 like losers. So sometimes it can do more damage than good under those circumstances, because you have to make sure that you protect the guys that you're eliminating. And if you're going to have people in there like Randy Orton, and Randy Orton coming into this after losing the tag team titles and being the reason that they dropped them, it's difficult to make it look good. So, you know, for more established stars, it's more of a problem. People coming in there like Sami Zayn, he could do well, like if he's going to be involved in it, because if he gets a few eliminations, you know, because he's not been looking too great lately, so he needs something like that, perhaps. Yeah,
and of course, the other than the Royal Rumble itself, we're going to have the other, you know, the Universal Championship, which Chris Jericho will be suspended above the ring inside a shark cage. Like they're loving that idea at the moment, aren't they? At the moment, WWE, this whole shark cage business, because they used it, of course, a little while ago.
Toilets out, could it?
Yeah. So Kevin Owens and Roman Reigns, Matt, as we said, Roman Reigns slipping slightly back into things here, which is slightly worrying. Do we have a fear that he may win it though, Matt?
Yes. And again, just the fact that, okay, Jericho's in a cage, but it's still going to be a factor in this match, isn't it? So for whatever reason, something involving Jericho is going to cause the distraction. Maybe perhaps Jericho will bring a weapon in and throw it down at the right time or something.
Yeah. Yes, we have to see how that plays out. Again, the thing is with Kevin Owens, I'm not buying him as a champion as much as I am AJ Styles currently. That's the only issue I have, and it's all down to how they're presenting him. Because the Kevin Owens of when he first came up onto the WWE roster is not the same Kevin Owens that we're seeing now, which is unfortunate. So I feel like one of those guys, Matt, is not going to go into WrestleMania as the champion, and we're going to look back at it as some sort of transitional time. I've just got that feeling, and you know, listen, WWE, for whatever reason, they never seem to give up on Roman Reigns, so I'm not going to exclude him all that much as just being a name on there at the moment. I think there is a real threat when Roman Reigns is in a title match currently, so it'll be interesting to see how that goes, and also interesting to see how a huge audience in Texas reacts to Roman Reigns again in all of this, because you know, it's no surprise that WWE have tried to keep him, you know, isolated and away from. But you know, as soon as you think it's happening, he's back again.
Well, I was going to say, I think it's interesting you said that though, because I feel like with Roman, they use the US title as a safety net with him. They're like, well, as long as he's got the US title, you know, it's something. If he didn't have the US title, I would feel much like you do. I'd feel a lot more threatened by his title challenges. But as long as he's got that, I kind of feel like they're not going to like overdo it and give him both titles.
Yeah. Well, well, you never know, Matt.
Well, they've proved us wrong in the past.
Yeah, that's what I fear. Okay, guys, well, before we get to our listeners' questions tonight going on the show, thought I'd let you guys know what is going to be coming up with our Wrestling Skull podcast app that will be available on Google Play from the 29th of this month of January 2017, which of course is the day of the Royal Rumble itself. So it's going to give you guys the app for the road for WrestleMania. You guys are going to be able to have news on it that I'll be posting on there. So when we're not on live, we'll still be putting on information, upcoming interviews and things that will be coming up on the show, and you'll have immediate access to stuff. And it's a cool app. I think you guys are going to like it, but we're going to be available on Google Play. More details will be coming in the weeks coming up. We're going to literally be giving snippets every week leading up to the launch, but it's going to be very good. We've also got a promo video for it as well, which is quite exciting. And the whole podcast itself from that day on is going to have a brand new kind of look. A bit of new theme music's going to happen. We're also going to be we're going to be presented, Matt. We're going to be like really, we're going to be big stars now, Matt.